For my supermarket tour, I decided to go to Farm Boy, which is a new supermarket in Toronto. Farm Boy prides itself on having a different approach to the supermarket layout, which is why I chose it for my supermarket tour. I want to explore how Farm Boy compares to other supermarkets. So I'm going to be focusing on the produce section. Farm Boy focuses on local, organic products, but they still carry some products that do not fit into either of those categories. So during my visit, I decided to read the labels and try my best to answer the questions proposed at the beginning of the chapter in the reading. So the first question is, where are the fruits and vegetables grown? Are they imported or local? A lot of the produce was imported. Very select items were actually local items that were grown in Canada. This section here, it's quite small compared to the entire produce section, is the only organic section. However, I did find some organic products mixed in with the regular products. With that being said, the regular products that make up the large majority of the produce section in Farm Boy are no different than the products found in a supermarket that does not focus on organic, locally sourced produce. The label stated that the produce came mostly from the United States, but as well as some other countries such as Guatemala, Peru, and even European countries such as Italy. Farm Boy did a great job of making sure that all the produce appeared to be very fresh. Nothing was going bad on the shelf. There were no unattractive products that somebody might look over. You certainly cannot tell what season it is by walking into the supermarket because there is a wide variety of produce available. Since a lot of these products are imported, that means they have traveled food miles, meaning that they come from several continents, they are a part of global trade, and they are really treated like a commodity. Consumers are far removed from food miles. A lot of times we don't really understand where the food came from, what kind of farm they were grown on, how long it took them to travel from the farm that they were grown into our supermarket, into our home. Although food miles provide us with a variety of nutrients and a lot of produce that we wouldn't have access to since it is not in season in this country, there are issues with the way that the farms are operated in other countries. A lot of times the farmers are very low paid, they are in poor working conditions, and not to mention the gas emissions used during transportation is quite damaging to our environment and using up oil that is becoming increasingly unreliable because of the rate that we are using it. If we continue to abuse our resources the way we are, food insecurity and food prices are going to spike, which is exactly why supermarkets like Farm Boy exist, who are trying to make an effort to at least include organic, locally sourced products into the mix to ensure that there is just a little bit less of those resources being used up so that we can still get produce without exhausting resources. However, it is a large issue that is going to be quite difficult to solve, and we need to focus on large issues such as food distribution and food waste. To do this, as a society, we need to stop focusing on food as a commodity and start focusing on food as a necessity instead. The way it is now, large organizations are fighting for power and control over the market when it comes to food. There is a disadvantage to less developed countries who are fighting an international division of labor. Since these less developed countries are in debt, they owe it to large organizations such as World Trade Organization and the World Bank to grow food that the rest of the world needs, such as rice or corn. These farmers are also pressured to use westernized ways of growing produce, meaning that they are to use large amounts of water, large amounts of pesticides to keep the crops growing as efficiently as possible. When large supermarkets such as Farm Boy are trying to make a difference, it still doesn't make a large enough impact because really the people who need to change are the large organizations. What we can do is buy organic food, buy fair trade food, and buy food that is from the rejects pile, such as this shelf here that I found in Farm Boy. You can also grow your own food.